Good evening, friends. Pinwatuni. Welcome to our online broadcast here from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. As you know, we go live every day at 7 o'clock in the evening, British Standard Time, sharing our evening Buddha Puja, chanting and meditation. Simply to support your religious practice, your commitment to continue your religious observance, which you may have been doing every day, especially during this lockdown time when you are not able to participate in a religious premise or religious place of worship. We go live to support that practice so that you can worship the Buddha, as well as to listen to the chanting and bless you and your loved family with good health and happiness, as well as to dedicate it to anyone who may have been affected by COVID-19, wishing them speedy recovery, good health and happiness. If you want, you can share our link, YouTube link, lmmc.online, or even our Facebook link to those who may wish to listen to the chanting while we do the chanting after Buddha Puja, and also meditation to support your well-being as well as to develop peace of mind. So thank you for joining with us today as usual. And today Puja is sponsored by Mrs. Asanti Vijay Singh and children Melisha and Shahisha. The observance that we are participating now. Yesterday there was a 3 months Dhamma sermon from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center, and today the family brought dana to the vihara, to the temple, and made offerings, and have also sponsored the evening puja, brought the medicinal drinks and offerings to the Buddha. So we are joined by them online. May all merit accumulated be conducive for the sansaric well-being of Sampath Vijay Singh. May he never ever in sansara face untimely death, and eventually may he attain the blissful state of Nibbana. So with such righteous intention, Mrs. Asanti Vijay Singh and family are also participating. Mrs. Vimala Mendis would also like to share merit with her beloved husband who passed away a year ago. Yesterday was the first anniversary. So may Mr. Vijita Mendis also receive all our merit accumulated today. May he be blessed in sansara, and may he make his sansaric life happy and peaceful, and also attain the blissful state of Nibbana. So with such righteous intention, she and her family members are also joining us today. So before we worship the Buddha, let us observe 5 precepts. Please say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa 3 times. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinnādāna viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kāmesu miccācārā viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musāvādā viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Suramēraya majjapamā daṭṭhānā viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Tisaranena saddheṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammaṃ sādhukaṃ surakkhitāṃ kattvā appamādena sampādetabbang. Okay, so let's worship the Buddha together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagavā arahaṃ sammā sambuddho vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasārathi sattā deva manussānaṃ buddho bhagavāti. Buddhaṃ jīvita pariyantaṃ saranaṃ gacchāmi. Ye ca buddha atita ca ye ca buddha anagata paccupanna ca ye buddha ahang vandami sabbada. Natti me saranang anyang buddho me saranang varang. Etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalang. Uttamangena vandehang padapang suvaruttamang. Buddheyo khalito doso buddho khamatu tang mamang. Swakkhāto bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akāliko. Ehi passiko opanayiko paccattang veditabbo vinyuhiti. Dhammang jivita pariyantang saranang gacchami. Ye ce dhamma atita ce ye ce dhamma anagata. Paccapanna caye dhamma ahang vandami sabbada. Natti me saranang anyang dhammo me saranang varang. Etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalang. Uttamangena vandehang dhamman ca tividhang varang. Tamme yo khalito doso dhammo khamatu tang mamang. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho. Ujjapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho. Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho. Samicipatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho. Yadidang cattari purisa yugani attha purisa puggala. Esa bhagavato savaka sangho. Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo. Anuttarang punyakhetang lokasati. Sanghang jivita pariyantang saranang gacchami. Ye ca sangha atita ca ye ca sangha anagata. Paccapanna ca ye sangha ahang vandami sabbada. Natti me saranang anyang sangho me saranang varang. Etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalang. Uttamangena vandehang sanghang ca tividottamang. Sangheyo khalito doso sangho khamatu tang mamang. Kanasarappadittena dipena tamadhangsina. Tiloka dipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang. Gandha sambhara yuttena dhupe nahang sugandhina. Pujaye pujaniyantang puja bhajana muttamang. Vanna gandha gunopetang etang kusuma santating. Pujayami munindassa siripada saroruhe. Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena mitena ca hotu mokkhaṃ. Puppahang milayati yatha idammi kayo tathayati vinasa bhavaṃ. Adhivasetuno bhante paniyang parikappitang. Anukampang upadaya patiganhatu uttama. Adhivasetuno bhante gilana paccayang imang anukampang upadaye patiganhatu uttame adhivasetuno bhante besajjang parikappitang anukampang upadaye patiganhatu uttame adhivasetuno bhante sabbang saddhaya pujitang anukampang upadaye patiganhatu uttame vandami cetiyang sabbang sabbethani supatitthitang saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddha rupang sakalang sada yassa mule nisinnove sambari vijayang aka patto sabbanyutang sattha vande tang bodhipadapang ime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujita ahampite namassami bodhiraja namattute kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamami bhante Buri panye tathagata kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamami dhamme sanditthika akalika kayena vaca cittena pamadena maya katang acayang kamami sangha supatipanna anuttara ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya idamme ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo idamme ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo idamme ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo imina punya kammena Mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya idamme punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabbe dukkha pamuncatu sadhu sadhu sadhu. So if you have just joined us, that is the end of our Buddha Puja this evening. So that was, if you have just joined us, we go live every day at 7 o'clock, sharing our evening Buddha Puja chanting and meditation. So today we are chanting the Ratana Sutta and Girimananda Sutta. Some of you have informed me about how the pandemic or the COVID-19 has affected you. So please bear in mind that you are in my thoughts when I chant this, And if you also would like to dedicate the chanting to anyone who is ill, bear them in your thoughts or share the link that the chanting that we are going to do are quite related to speedy recovery in terms of the acceptance at the end of the discourse, especially in the Girimananda Sutta, when Venerable Ananda revealed the 10 perceptions, or if contemplation of 10 perception to Venerable Girimananda. Upon listening, it is recorded at the end of the sutta that he recovered from his critical illness. So may the truth of that, may the truth of the Dhamma, and may the compassion of the Buddha be conducive for your complete well-being, speedy recovery and happiness, as well as those who are you bear in your thoughts. May they also have speedy recovery from the illnesses, and if they are taking any treatment, may they be successful. So with such righteous intention, we dedicate the chanting to all of you for your well-being. If the Ratana Sutta was uttered by delivered by the Buddha with similar when similar difficulties arose in the city of Visala, a pandemic, as well as fear and illnesses spreading around, and upon request the Buddha delivered or gave these verses in the Ratana Sutta that where the virtues of the triple Dhamma are embodied, and upon sprinkling of holy water after recital, the city began to recover, and therefore Buddhists use the Ratana Sutta when there are times of difficulty. So ever since we went online, we have been chanting this sutta for your well-being, and I do know that you also participate from home and chant with us if you are able to. So the suttas are Ratana Sutta and Girimananda Sutta. Today we are chanting. If you would like to share our links for those who might want to listen but do not know that we have such facility, please do share our link, lmmc.online in YouTube. Search for lmmc.online, and Facebook, if you are joining, you know how to get the link. So may you all be well, happy and peaceful. May you and your loved ones be protected and stay safe during this time of difficulty. And also, as always, we dedicate this to all our key workers, especially the NHS staff, doctors and nurses who are working tirelessly to look after and cater for their patients and their families. So may they also enjoy good health and happiness. May they also develop courage and determination to continue the valuable services to the nation, patients and their families. So please listen to the chanting with great attention and respect. Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gacchantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajasa Sunantu Sagga Mokkadang Paritta Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Paritta Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Paritta Kalu Ayang Bhadanta. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Yani bhutani samagatani bummani vayani veyantalikhe sabbeva bhuta sumana bhavantu athopi sakkacca sunantu bhasitang tasmahi bhutani samitha sabbe mettang karothe manusiya pajaye Divacaratto haranti e baling tasmahini rakkete appamatta yankince vittang idheva hurang vasagge suvayang ratanang panitang nano samang attita thāgatene idampi buddhe ratanang panitang ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු khයං විරාගං අමතං පනීතං යදජ්ජගා සක්්‍ය මුනි සමාහිතෝ නතේන ධම්මේන සමත්ති කිංචේ ඉදම්පි ධම්මේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යං බුද්ධ සෙට්ඨෝ පරිවන්නයි සුචින් සමාධිමානන්තරි කඤ්ඤමාහු සමාධිනාතේන සමෝන විජ්ජති ඉදම්පි ධම්මේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යේ පුග්ගලා අට්ඨ සතං පසත්තා චත්තාරි ඒතානි යුගානි හොන්ති තේ දක්ඛිනේයා සුගතස්ස ශාවකා ඒතේසු දින්නානි මහප්පලානි ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යේසුප්පයුත්තා මනසා දල්හේන නික්කාමිනෝ ගෝතම සාසනම්හි තේ පත්තිපත්තා අමතං විගයිහ ලද්ධා මුදා නිබ්බුතින් භුංජමානා ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යතින්ද කීලෝ පඨවින් සිතෝසියා චතුබ්බිහි වාතේභි අසම්පකම්පියෝ තතුපමං සප්පුරිසං වදාමි යෝ වරිය සච්චානි අවෙච්ච පස්සති ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යේ අරිය සච්චානි විභාවයන්ති ගම්භීර පඤ්ඤේන සුදේසිතානි කිංචාපිතේ හොන්ති බුසප්පමත්තානතේ භවං අට්ඨමං ආදියන්ති ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු සහවස්ස දස්සන සම්පදාය තයස්සු ධම්මා ජහිතා භවಂತಿ සක්කාය දිට්ඨි විචිකිච්ඡිතං ච සීලබ්බතං වාපි යදත්ති කිංචේ චතුහ පායේහි ච විප්පමුත්තෝ චචාබිඨානානි අභබ්බෝ කාතුං ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු කිංචාපිසෝ කම්මං කරෝති පාපකං කායේන වාචා උදචේතසාවා අභබ්බෝසෝ තස්ස පටිච්චාදාය අභබ්බතා දිට්ඨ පදස්ස වුත්තා ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු වනප්ප ගුම්බේ යතහා පුස්සිතග්ගේ ගිම්හාන මාසේ පඨමස්මින් ගිම්හේ තතුපමං ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි නිබ්බානගාමින් පරමං හිතාය ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු වරෝ වරඤ්ඤෝ වරදෝ වරාහරෝ අනුත්තරෝ ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු කීනං පුරාණං නවං නත්ති සම්භවං විරත්ත චිත්තා ආයතිකේ භවස්මින් තේ කීන බීජා අවිරුල් හිච්ඡන්දා නිබ්බන්ති දීරා යතහායං පදීපෝ ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි භුම්මානි වායානි වේයන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං බුද්ධං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු යානීද භූතානි සමාගතානි භුම්මානි වායානි වේයන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං සංඝං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන දුක්ඛා වූපසමින්තු තේ ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන භයා වූපසමින්තු තේ ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන රෝගා වූපසමින්තු තේ එවං මේ සුතං ඒකං සමයං භගවා සාවත්ථියං විහෙරති 제තවනේ අනාථ පිණ්ඩිකස්ස ආරාමේ තේන කෝපන සමයේන ආයස්මා ගිරිමානන්දෝ ආබාධිකෝ හෝති දුක්ඛිතෝ බාල්හ ගිලානෝ අතකෝ ආයස්මා ආනන්දෝ යේන භගවාතේනුපසංකමි උපසංකමිත්වා භගවන්තං අභිවාදෙත්වා ඒකමන්තං නිසීදී ඒකමන්තං නිසින්නෝකෝ ආයස්මා ආනන්දෝ භගවන්තං ඒතදවෝචේ ආයස්මා භන්තේ ගිරිමානන්දෝ ආබාධිකෝ දුක්ඛිතෝ බාල්හ ගිලානෝ සාදු භන්තේ භගවා යේනායස්මා ගිරිමානන්දෝ තේනුපසංකමතු අනුකම්පං උපාදායාති සචේකෝ ත්වං ආනන්ද ගිරිමානන්දස්ස බික්ඛුනෝ උපසංකමිත්වා දස සංඥා භාසෙය්‍යාසී ඨානං කෝපනීතං විජ්ජති යං ගිරිමානන්දස්ස බික්ඛුනෝ දස සංඥා සුත්වා සෝ ආබාධෝ ඨානසෝ පටිප්පස්සම්බෙය්‍ය කතමේ දස අනිච්ච සංඥා අනත්ත සංඥා අසුභ සංඥා ආදීනව සංඥා පහාන සංඥා විරාග සංඥා නිරෝධ සංඥා සබ්බ ලෝකේ අනබිරත සංඥා සබ්බ සංඛාරේසු අනිච්ච සංඥා ආනාපාන සති කතමාචානන්ද අනිච්ච සංඥා ඉදහානන්ද බික්ඛු අරඤ්ඤගතෝ වා රුක්ඛ මූලගතෝ වා ශුඤ්ඤාගාරගතෝ වා ඉති පටිසංචික්ඛති රූපං අනිච්ඡං වේදනා අනිච්චා සංඥා අනිච්චා සංඛාරා අනිච්චා විඤ්ඤාණං අනිච්ඡන්ති ඉති ඉමේසු පංචසු පාදානක්ඛන්ධේසු අනිච්චානුපස්සී විහෙරති අයං වුච්චතානන්ද අනිච්ච සංඥා කතමාචානන්ද අනත්ත සංඥා ඉදහානන්ද බික්ඛු අරඤ්ඤගතෝ වා රුක්ඛ මූලගතෝ වා ශුඤ්ඤාගාරගතෝ වා ඉති පටිසංචික්ඛති චක්ඛුං අනත්තා රූපා අනත්තා සෝතං අනත්තා සද්දා අනත්තා ගානං අනත්තා ගන්ධා අනත්තා ජීවහා අනත්තා රස අනත්තා කායෝ අනත්තා පොට්ටබ්බා අනත්තා මනෝ අනත්තා ධම්මා අනත්තාති ඉතිමේසු චසු අජ්ජත්තික බාහිරේසු ආයතනේසු අනත්තානුපස්සී විහෙරති අයං වුච්චතානන්ද අනත්ත සංඥා කතමාචානන්ද අසුභ සංඥා ඉදානන්ද බික්ඛු ඉමමේව කායං උද්ධං පාදතලා අදෝකේස මත්තකා තච පරියන්තං පුරං නානප්පකාරස්ස අසුචිනෝ පච්ච වෙක්ඛති අත්ථිමස්මින් කායේ කේසාලෝමානකා දන්තා තචෝ මංසං නහාරු අට්ඨි මිඤ්ජා වක්කං හදයන් යකනං කිලෝමකං පියකං පප්පාසං අන්තං අන්තගුණං උදරියං කරීසං පිත්තං සෙම්වං පුබ්බෝලෝහිතං සේදෝ මේදෝ අස්සවසාකේලෝ සිංහානිකා ලසිකා මුත්තන්ති ඉතිමස්මින් කායේ අසුභානුපස්සී විහෙරති අයං උච්චතානන්ද අසුභ සංඥා කතමාචානන්ද ආදීනව සංඥා ඉදානන්ද බික්ඛු අරඤ්ඤගතෝ වා රුක්ඛමූලගතෝ වා ශුඤ්ඤාගාරගතෝ වා ඉති පටිසංචික්ඛති බහු දුක්ඛෝ කෝ අයං කායෝ බහු ආදීනවෝ ඉතිමස්මින් කායේ විවිධා ආබාධා uppajjanti සේයතිදං චක්ඛරෝගෝ සෝතරෝගෝ ගාහනරෝගෝ ජීවහාරෝගෝ කායරෝගෝ සීසරෝගෝ කන්නරෝගෝ මුඛරෝගෝ දන්තරෝගෝ කාසෝ සාසෝ පිනාසෝ ඩහෝ ජරෝ කුච්චිරෝගෝ මුච්ඡාපක්ඛන්දිකා සූලා විසූචිකා කුට්ටං ගණ්ඩෝ කිලාසෝ සෝසෝ අපමාරෝ දද්දු කණ්ඩු කච්චු රකසා විතච්චිකා ලෝහිත පිත්තං මධුමේහෝ අංසා පීලකා භගන්දලා පිත්ත සමුට්ඨාන ආබාධා සෙම්භ සමුට්ඨාන ආබාධා වාත සමුට්ඨාන ආබාධා සන්නිපාතිකා ආබාධා උතුපරිණාමජා ආබාධා විසම පරිහාරජා ආබාධා ඕපක්කමිකා ආබාධා කම්ම විපාකජා ආබාධා සීතං උන්හං ජිගච්ඡා පිපාසා උච්චාරෝ පස්සාවෝති ඉතිමස්මින් කායේ ආදීනවානුපස්සී විහෙරති අයං වුච්චතානන්ද ආදීනව සංඥා කතමාචානන්ද පහන සංඥා ඉදානන්ද බික්ඛු uppannං කාම විතක්කං නාධිවාසේති පජහති විනෝදේති බ්‍යන්ති කරෝති අනභාවං ගමීති uppannං ව්‍යාපාද විතක්කං නාධිවාසේති පජහති විනෝදේති බ්‍යන්ති කරෝති අනභාවං ගමීති uppannං විහිංසා විතක්කං නාදිවාසේති පජහති විනෝදේති බ්‍යන්ති කරෝති අනභාවං ගමේති uppannee පාපකේ අකුසලේ ධම්මේ නාදිවාසේති පජහති විනෝදේති බ්‍යන්ති කරෝති අනභාවං ගමේති අයං වුච්චතානන්ද පහන සංඥා කතමාචානන්ද විරාග සංඥා ඉදානන්ද බික්ඛු අරඤ්ඤගතෝ වා රුක්ඛමූලගතෝ වා ශුඤ්ඤාගාරගතෝ වා ඉති පටිසංචික්ඛති ඒතං සන්තං ඒතං පනීතං යදිදං සබ්බ සංඛාර සමතෝ සම්බුපදිපටි නිස්සග්ගෝ තණ්හක්ඛයෝ විරාගෝ නිබ්බානන්ති. අයං වුච්චතානන්ද විරාග සංඥා කතමාචානන්ද නිරෝධ සංඥා. ඉදානන්ද බික්ඛු අරඤ්ඤගතෝ වා රුක්ඛමූලගතෝ වා ශුඤ්ඤාගාරගතෝ වා ඉතිපටි සංචික්ඛති. ඒතං සන්තං ඒතං පනීතං යදිදං සබ්බ සංඛාර සමතෝ සම්බුපදිපටි නිස්සග්ග තණ්හක්ඛයෝ නිරෝධෝ නිබ්බානන්ති. අයං වොච්චතානන්ද නිරෝධ සංඥා කතමාචානන්ද සබ්බ ලෝකේ අනභිරත සංඥා. ඉදානන්ද බික්ඛු යේ ලෝකේ උපායුපාදානා චේතසෝ අදිට්ඨානා බිනිවේසානුසයාතේ පජහන්තෝ විරමති න උපාදීයන්තෝ. අයං වුච්චතානන්ද සබ්බ ලෝකේ අනභිරත සංඥා කතමාචානන්ද සබ්බ සංඛාරේසු අනිච්ච සංඥා. ඉදානන්ද බික්ඛු සබ්බ සංඛාරේහි අට්ඨියති හරායති ජිගුච්ඡති. අයං වුච්චතානන්ද සබ්බ සංඛාරේසු අනිච්ච සංඥා කතමාචානන්ද ආනාපාන සති. ඉදානන්ද බික්ඛු අරඤ්ඤගතෝ වා රුක්ඛමූලගතෝ වා ශුඤ්ඤාගාරගතෝ වා නිසීදති පල්ලංකං ආභුජිත්වා උජුං කායං පනිදාය පරිමුඛං සතින් උපට්ඨපෙත්වා. සෝ සතෝව අස්ස සති සතෝ පස්ස සති දීඝං වා අස්ස සන්තෝ දීඝං අස්ස සාමීති පජානාති. දීඝං වා පස්ස සන්තෝ දීඝං පස්ස සාමීති පජානාති. රස්සං වා අස්ස සන්තෝ රස්සං අස්ස සාමීති පජානාති. රස්සං වා පස්ස සන්තෝ රස්සං පස්ස සාමීති පජානාති. සම්බකාය පටිසංවේදී අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. සබ්බකාය පටිසංවේදී පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. පස්සම්භයං කාය සංඛාරං අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. පස්සම්භයං කාය සංඛාරං පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. පීතිපටි සංවේදී අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. පීතිපටි සංවේදී පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. සුඛපටි සංවේදී අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. සුඛපටි සංවේදී පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. චිත්ත සංඛාර පටි සංවේදී අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. චිත්ත සංඛාර පටි සංවේදී පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. පස්සම්භයං චිත්ත සංඛාරං අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. පස්සම්භයං චිත්ත සංඛාරං පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. චිත්තපටි සංවේදී අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. චිත්තපටි සංවේදී පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. අභිප්පමෝදයං චිත්තං අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. අභිප්පමෝදයං චිත්තං පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. සමාදහං චිත්තං අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. සමාදහං චිත්තං පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. විමෝචයං චිත්තං අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. විමෝචයං චිත්තං පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. අනිච්චානුපස්සී අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. අනිච්චානුපස්සී පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති. විරාගානුපස්සේ අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති විරාගානුපස්සේ පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති නිරෝධානුපස්සේ අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති නිරෝධානුපස්සේ පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති පටිනිස්සග්ගානුපස්සේ අස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති පටිනිස්සග්ගානුපස්සේ පස්ස සිස්සාමීති සික්ඛති අයං උච්චතානන්ද ආනාපානසති සචේකෝ ත්වං ආනන්ද ගිරිමානන්දස්ස බික්ඛුනෝ උපසංකමිත්වා ඉමා දස සංඥා භාසෙය්‍යාසි ආනංකෝ පනීතං විජ්ජති යං ගිරිමානන්දස්ස බික්ඛුනෝ ඉමා දස සංඥා සුත්වාසෝ ආබාධෝ ඨානසෝ පටිප්පස්සම්භෙය්‍යාති අතකෝ ආයස්ම ආනන්දෝ භගවතෝ සන්තිකේ ඉමා දස සංඥා උග්ගහෙත්වා යේනායස්මා ගිරිමානන්දෝ තේනුපසංකමී උපසංකමිත්වා ආයස්මතෝ ගිරිමානන්දස්ස ඉමා දස සංඥා අභාසී අතකෝ ආයස්මතෝ ගිරිමානන්දස්ස ඉමා දස සංඥා සුත්වාසෝ ආබාධෝ ඨානසෝ පටිප්පස්සම්භි උට්ඨාහි චායස්මා ගිරිමානන්දෝ තම්හා ආබාධා තථාපහීනෝ ච පනායස්මතෝ ගිරිමානන්දස්ස සෝ ආබාධෝ අහෝසීති ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන දුක්ඛා උපසමෙන්තු තේ ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන රෝගා උපසමෙන්තු තේ ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන භයා උපසමෙන්තු තේ සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන බුද්ධ රතනං ධම්ම රතනං සංඝ රතනං තින්නං රතනානං ආනුභාවේන චතුරාසීති සහස්ස ධම්මක්ඛන්ධානුභාවේන පිටකත්තයානුභාවේන ජිනසාවකානුභාවේන සබ්බේතේ රෝගා සබ්බේතේ භයා සබ්බේතේ අන්තරායා සබ්බේතේ උපද්දවා සබ්බේතේ දුන්නිමිත්තා සබ්බේතේ අවමංගලා විනස්සන්තු ආයු වඩ්ඩකෝ ධන වඩ්ඩකෝ සිරි වඩ්ඩකෝ යස වඩ්ඩකෝ බල වඩ්ඩකෝ වන්න වඩ්ඩකෝ සුඛ වඩ්ඩකෝ හෝතු සබ්බදා දුක්ඛ රෝග භයා වේරා සෝකා සබ්බේ පද්දවා අනේකා අන්තරායා පීවිනස්සන්තු ච තේජසා ජය සිද්ධි ධනං ලාභං සොත්ති භාග්‍යං සුඛං බලං සිරියායුච වන්නෝ ච භෝගං වුද්ධි ච යසවා සතවස්සාච ආයුච ජීව සිද්ධි භවන්තු තේ ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ධම්මදේශනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු මං පරන්ති සාදු සාදු සාදු. So that is the end of our chanting. If you have just joined us, we go live every day at 7 o'clock sharing our evening Buddha Puja, chanting and meditation with you. So we chanted the Ratana Sutta and the Girimarana Sutta to bless you all for good health and happiness during this time of difficulty. May you stay blessed with good health. May you and your loved ones stay blessed with good health. And if you had anyone in your minds, may they have a speedy recovery. May they also be successful in the treatments they take, and may they enjoy good health thereafter. And as always, we dedicated the chanting to all our key workers as well. May they also develop courage and determination to continue the valuable services. May the doctors and nurses also enjoy good health and develop courage and determination to continue the valuable services during this time of difficulty. So the puja today was sponsored by Mrs. Asanti Vijay Singh and children and in-laws and friends to share merit with her beloved husband who passed away 3 months ago. So yesterday they had a 3 months commemorative Dhamma Desana after puja, and today they brought dana to the vihara and made offerings to the Buddha, and also this evening puja's offerings were also brought by them with the medicinal drinks for the Buddha puja. So may all merit accumulated dana sila bhavana be conducive for late Mr. Sampath Vijay Singh. May he never ever face such untimely death. If he is born in an unfortunate state of condition, may he elevate from there and be happy and peaceful. May, if he is in a good state, may he rejoice in our punya karma and also prosper. May his sansaric life be happy and peaceful wherever he is. With such righteous intention, let us say sadhu. To share merit, may he also attain blissful state of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Mrs. Vimala Mendes is also joining us to share merit with her beloved husband who passed away a year ago. So yesterday was first death anniversary. So may Mr. Vijita Mendes receive all our merit. May he be blessed, and may he, if he is in an unfortunate state of condition, may he elevate from there, and if he is in a good state, may he also prosper and rejoice in our punya karma, making his sansaric life happy. May he also attain the blissful state of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. දවසේ පූජා විදායකත්වය දරුවේ අසන්ති විජේසිංහ නෝනාමාත්මිය තමන්ගේ දරුවන් මිලිෂා සහ සහිෂා සමගින් විහාරස්ථානයට දවල් දානය පූජා කළා. ඊයේ 3 මාසයේ ධර්ම දේශනාව පැවැත්වුවා. අද දවසේ විහාරස්ථානයේ විකාශනය කරන මේ බුද්ධ පූජාවේ දායකත්වය දරාගෙන ඒ ගිලම්පස පූජාව ගෙනවිත් පූජා කරලා බලාපොරොත්තු වන්නේ මීට මාස 3කට ඉහතදී අභා ප්‍රාප්ත වන්නට යෙදුණු ඒ සම්පත් විජේසිංහ ස්වාමි පුරුෂානන්ට, දයාබර ස්වාමි පුරුෂානන්ට පරලෝව වශයෙන් පින්පෙත් අනුමෝදන් වේවා. එතුමන් කිසිම කාලයක සංසාරේ මෙවන් අකල් මරණයට ගොදුරු නොවේවා. ඒ වගේම අභව්‍ය ස්ථානයක සිටිනවන් එයින් අතමිදී සැප ළඟා කරගනිත්වා. සුගතියේ සිටිනවන් ඒ තවත් වර්ධනය කොටගෙන ඒ සංසාරික ජීවිතය සපොත් කොටගෙන කෙලවර ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන බෝධියකින් උතුම් අමා මහ නිවන් සුවය සාක්ෂාත් කරගන්නට අද දවසේ අප කරගත්තා වූ පින් හේතු වාසනා වේවායි කියලා අපි සාදුකාරී කියලා පුණ්‍යානුමෝදනා වෙනවා. සාදු සාදු සාදු. විමලා මෙන්ඩිස් නෝනා මහත්මිය තමන්ගේ දයාබර ස්වාමි පුරුෂානන් විජිත මෙන්ඩිස් මහත්මයාට පින්පෙත් අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන අද දවසේ ඊට අවුරුද්දක් සපිරෙනවා. ඉතින් මේ සෙනසුරාදා විහාරස්ථානෙට දානය පමුණුවනවා. ඒ විජිත මෙන්ඩිස් මහත්මයාට සංසාර වශයෙන් පින්පෙත් අනුමෝදන් වේවා. අභව්‍ය ස්ථානයක සිටිනවා නම් එයින් අත මිදී සැප ළඟා කරගනිත්වා. සැපෙන් සිටිනවා නම් සැපතවත් වර්ධනය කොටගෙන සංසාරික ජීවිතය සපොත් කරගෙන කෙලවර ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන බෝධියකින් උතුම් අමා මහ නිවන් සුවය සාක්ෂාත් කරගන්නට අද දවසේ අප අත්පත් කරගත්තා වූ දාන සිල් භාවනාදී පින්කම් හේතු වාසනා වේවායි කියලා සාදුකාරය කියලා පුණ්‍යානුමෝදනා වෙමු. සාදු සාදු. So it is time for our meditation. So for those who do not know, on Thursdays last year we continued with our mindfulness meditation. So today, if you are new, Thursdays we do meditation on mindfulness-based practice. So because of the time, we will do a very short reflection, and sometimes it is important to settle our mind down, and then we'll do a brief practice as well. So for those who are completely new, mindfulness meditation has become a big buzzword in the modern day, and especially even with the pandemic, many people are focusing on how we need to develop mindfulness to maintain peace and harmony, also to maintain our mental health, or to continue to be mindful of how we may function and how we actually need to look after ourselves at home and our lives. So it has become quite a word. So mindfulness is actually it is a skill, or it is a utility or tool or practice that supports, in Buddhist terms, enlightenment. Otherwise, it is something that we need to develop so that we are quite we are in a situation of control. So we are in control. We stay in control. Other times we do get what I would say perhaps puppeteered or controlled by our defilements, or controlled by our unskillful thoughts. The unskillful thoughts that arise within oneself make us do things that we may not have planned. So there are times that we might engage in things, whether actions, words, or even thoughts, unskillfully. So it is quite important to train ourselves. That's why the word bhavana is to cultivate, to train gradually. And when you cultivate, you need great effort, great attention, and even some attitudes of determination. Determination in a sense, sometimes you feel, oh, it's not working, or you feel it is not helpful, or you feel that there is no progress because your mind is always wandering. And yes, we agree with that. Mind does wander. Okay, so it is being mindful that the mind wanders is also a progress. If you are aware of that, that is mindfulness. So although we use the word stilling the mind, or training our mind to focus on one point of attention, yes, mind does wander a lot, but we have to develop effort to bring it back to the point of attention that you are making the mind be at. In our case, we do breathing meditation. So we need to bring our mind back to the breath all the time. Effort is really important. Now, for example, if you do go for a walk after a long time, you will start panting, or taking long breaths, or running out of breath very shortly. So if you do jogging, you might, in 5 minutes, you'll be very tired. But a person who is very determined will keep on practicing, and maybe after about 5-10 days, the person can run or jog for about a long distance without even finding it difficult. So the first few steps and days might be difficult if you are completely new. So we need to have great effort to bring this back. So if you can imagine the analogy I gave some time, a small toddler, when you have lots of interesting, attractive things around the toddler will always keep on going here and there. getting distracted with other one, or even getting dissatisfied with the current object that the toddler is handling, and you show something new, then the toddler will want that again, throwing the other one. Our mind is like that as well, getting distracted with current object which we are making our mind be, which could be breathing. It gets dissatisfied, it always seeks something to entertain itself and wanders very quickly, sometimes even after 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 seconds. Mind wanders very quickly, trying to seek attention or find attention. So something will always attract, or I use either word, attract or distract. We get distracted from our current focus of attention, and we get attracted to something else. And it's quite, it's the normal, that is the way the mind works. Durangamang ekacharang asarirang guhasayang. So in the Pali Dhammapada stanza, the mind will travel far, the mind will go alone. And we do know this because the reason is it's not a physical or a material thing. Excuse me. If it was physical, you would be able to make it stay at one point. But it is not a physical thing. Excuse me. So this immaterial thing, how can you, unless you train itself, unless you actually purposely, with great effort and determination, make it stay at one point, it will be very difficult for that wandering or that very active mind to stay at one point. So don't worry about that, as long as you realize that the mind is wandering at the given moment. So as most of you may be or may have heard, when the mind wanders, we develop some sort of judgmental opinions. We judge things, and we have a habit of categorizing into likes or dislikes. So when there is something that's interested, we have the desire within oneself to want it to last longer, to want it to continue, to stay the way you want it, with delusion or ignorance that you think you can control or you can make it be like that. And when it doesn't stay like that, we feel dissatisfied, we feel let down, and then we will try to make every effort for that like to continue, for that like to actually exist in your way, under your control. And there is a problem with that. And there are things we don't like, and then we'll also make every effort comparing that to something you like, desiring the non-existing object. So these are the experiences in the channels that the mind takes. There are 6 channels the mind can get into: the sights, the hearings, the tasting, the smelling, the feeling, and the thinking. 6 channels. So the mind cannot be at any other place than these 6 channels. Now when I say sights, that doesn't necessarily mean your naked eye. Even if your eyes are closed, you can see things, and when we see things, now we do know we are not seeing what is in front of you, but we are seeing our memories, our thoughts. We are seeing our likes, our dislikes. They come as a film. So when you close your eyes and meditate, you are seeing something that is already there, recorded in your mind, memory. It's nothing, your eyes are closed, but you are seeing something. So your mind actually is rewinding the tape and wanting to be at a pleasant place, or doesn't want to be an unpleasant place. And There's always a story that the mind is engaging itself with. So a mindful person will actually realize that, okay, I'm out of my main focus, which is breathing, and then will realize that this is seeing. So seeing not in terms of with the naked eye, but there is a seeing that is happening. Sometimes even a smell. So you are smelling, but you are not smelling physically now, but you are smelling something in your mind. So think of your best perfume. You will have a wonderful, pleasant feeling imagining that perfume. Now that is what the mind will do when your mind is getting bored with breathing, looking at the breath. So you have to realize at that moment, recognize that this is smelling. Now smelling might not necessarily be this physical smell, if you so it is in the thought at that moment. So identifying that and letting it go. Don't get involved with it. Never ever get involved with it. We get involved with it by three ways. One is through desire. So your likes and dislikes. You actually show your likes and dislikes and form an opinion and judgment. So it can be seeing with your eyes open, hearing the sound. We're always forming an opinion. Okay, so then this other one would be that is, so desire, satana, so ditthi. You have some sort of views and fixed opinions already, conclusive opinions. So ditthi. So that comes at the forefront for that, supporting that judgment. That comes at the forefront, supporting that judgment. And the third thing is pride. We will go through this three in details in future. Pride, mana. Sometimes we get involved with these objects with pride. Pride can come in 9 ways, but in you can take the 3 Seya, Sadisa, Hina. So when you have the 3 types of pride, the judgment or whatever you receive, whatever is entering through your 6 senses, there is a varied form of judgment taking place. Now without realizing this is happening. So in Pali, tanha, ditthi, mana. So desire, fixed or deeply rooted held views, and then mana is pride. So you get involved with the thoughts that with pride means you get involved with the thoughts, because you are wanting certain ways to take place. You might even think, next time I should be doing this, or you'll start working, getting involved with the objects. Next time I won't let this happen to me, and then you follow on all of those thoughts. So fixed views would be this shouldn't be this way, it should always be this way, and you then form a categorical like or dislike, abhijja, domanassa, on those objects. Satisfied or dissatisfied way of looking at it. And this is the norm, the way the mind works. So should your mind actually get out of this breathing moment, or being aware of the breath, being aware and train yourself to stay with the breath, see the breath, be with the breath. There's nothing to like or dislike in the breath. Don't even go to the don't even like we don't plan to breathe. So like when we are eating food, we might be planning our next mouthful. But in the breath, there is nothing to plan for the next. You can't say, I'm going to breathe in like this. Just stay and see the breath as it happens, as it happens. And if the mind wanders, as it happens, this is a wandering mind. If the mind sees something, as it happens, seeing. No, you don't go beyond that. You don't say what you saw, why you saw, what you're going to do with what you saw. You don't actually get involved in detail, no analytical. Just try to observe and be wherever, whatever channel the mind takes. Seeing. So we are not listening, but we are now hearing, the smelling, the taste, which might be very little unless you smell some food. You might not salivate. Then feeling, especially with your posture and your other sensory experiences. And if you feel difficulty, don't get annoyed. Sometimes there might be a slight bit of pain, bugging, and you might want to straighten your body. Be determined to see if you can actually not move, and just see how the mind functions in front of that pain or difficulty. The impatience developing within oneself. There's lots of ways. Every object the mind takes is going to be the object of meditation in mindfulness. Every object the mind takes. So it can be, if it is paining, we see the pain. We're not going to say, oh, this pain is not good. Why does it have to pain now? I'm trying to meditate. Why is it bugging me? You don't actually think in that way. We just observe the sensation, if it is the sensation, or the pain as pain. Or if you think of the mind that you are disliking the pain, then the dislike. So a simple pain can have 3 different approaches to be mindful. Either with the physical sensation, and then the rising and falling of it, or ceasing of the pain, the mental reaction or impatience and dislike, the desire to change. There you go. So many ways we can look at it. So to see and be with the pain as it happens. So don't start creating stories or rewriting stories behind those thoughts that comes to your mind. That's why we are quite used with the word ditte ditta matang, sute sutta matang, seeing as it is, hearing as it is. Mute matang is the thought as it is, or not go beyond that. Don't create a story or rewrite a story. Don't plan with what enters your mind, or what even the thought that arises with your mind. Just see it as worry, anxiety as anxiety. At the given moment, what the mind is up to, observe as it is. So when we try to focus our mind for the next 15 minutes on breathing, remember to always stick to the strategy of recognize, release and return. If your mind wanders, recognize. Release means to let go of the object after you've acknowledged that it's taken place, and then you return to your breathing, whether it is your tummy or your nose. Breath is breath, and observe the breathing and be with the breath as it is. Okay? So adjust your posture for a while. So we'll do about 15 minutes today. Right hand on your left palm. Back straight and feet firm on the floor if you are sitting on a chair or stool. And eyes gently closed. So first of all, a quick scan of your posture. The scanning helps your mind to settle down. So from your head to toe, so straight body, straight back, body bent at the hips and sitting down, legs bent at the knees, and feet firm on the floor, touching the floor, firm. Right hand on the left palm. You might notice the pressure, the weight of your body. And you might notice the side of your ankles and legs touching if you're sitting cross-legged. So a different sensation to those who are sitting on a chair or sofa. And be mindful of that stillness. Be mindful of anyone who is sitting with you, participating with you. Appreciate each other's support. Be mindful of those present at home but not participating. Remember, no judgment, simply aware of their presence. Be mindful of your location, yourself at home. If you're in your room, dining table, wherever you are. Just going a bit beyond, be mindful of the online community, many people participating together. Good Kalyana Mitra group supporting each other's practice. Just being aware that there are many families. And coming back to yourself, be mindful of your still body. Once you've noted that posture, so be determined not to move whatsoever now. And gradually bring your attention to your breathing now. If you don't feel your breath, you can take a couple of long breaths purposely at this stage. And as you take in the deep breath, you can feel the air flowing through your nostrils to your lungs. And when you release your breath from your nose again, nostrils, you can feel the long breath coming out. Breathing in, breathing out. Long, deep breaths. And when you took that long, deep breath, if you felt your body refresh, be mindful of that. Don't look for it, but if you felt refreshed. When you breathe out, your body shrinks, and then be mindful of that relaxation. Taking a deep breath in and a long, deep breath out. Breathing in, breathing out. Remember, we are being with the breath, not judging the breath, but being with the breath. And when we are with the breath, that means we are literally with the breath from the start to the end of both in-breath and out-breath. So try to pinpoint the moment it starts breathing in, and continue to be with the breath as if you were going on the journey. And the moment it finishes breathing in. And similarly, when you breathe out, try to pinpoint the moment you are starting to breathe out. Continue to breathe out, and the time you finish breathing out. Split-second difference. Try to grasp and be mindful of that moment as well. This is what we mean by being with the breath. Don't control your breath, don't regulate it. Just observe the natural breath breathing in and breathing out. If counting with the numerical 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1 helps. So 1 the starting point, 2 the continuity, 3 the end of inhaling, 3 start exhaling, 2 continue, and 1 end of exhaling. If that helps as a beginner, you can practice that. Breathe breathing in, breathing out. Should your mind wander, remember 3 R's: recognize, release, and return to your breathing. Don't stay there. Don't write stories or rewrite stories. Just come back after you recognize where your mind traveled. Breathing in, breathing out. Just stay with that breath. Remember, every time your mind wanders, recognize, release, and return. Even if you have to do 60 seconds, every second doesn't matter. Just bring your mind back to breathing. Every time you notice it has wandered, recognize. So what is it doing? Release. Let it go. Don't stay there, and come back to breathing. Return. Recognize, release, return. that is the end of our broadcast today. If you joined us now, we go live at 7 o'clock every day, sharing our evening with the Puja chanting and meditation with you, so that you can participate from home or wherever you are at your ease during this time of difficulty. On Thursdays, we meditate on mindfulness training or focusing on our breathing. So other days we do meditation on loving kindness. So thank you for joining with us today, this evening. Stay safe, take care, and have a very good evening and good night. Okay, see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Bye-bye.